What is going on, WDL fans? It is I, Jay Jingles, once again for another week preview. So we're into week 6, believe it or not. We actually just finished week 5, and boy, do I want to start off with the week 5 matches. They changed everything. They say certain events will change everything. Week 5 changed everything. The standings flipped on their head, not literally or in any way, because you don't have the top of the bottom of the top. You know what I mean? Everything changed. Everything completely changed. If you haven't seen the matches yet, go check them out. The playoff implications, the standings, they completely shuffled all over the place. Teams that looked like they were running away with it are no longer running away with it just from the 1 week that they played. And undefeated teams are now, undefeated teams now are defeated, and winless teams are now winful. It was insane. This is probably the most exciting week we've had. So we're just going to break down a little bit of what happened in week 5, and then we're going to get into the standings, where we're sitting, playoff implications. We'll get into the remaining weeks of the schedule and what that looks like for each player. It's only 4 playoff spots, guys. Only 4 playoff spots out of the 8. It is a very tight race, and that 4th slot for the playoffs is even the 3rd slot. It's every playoff spot's up for grabs right now, but the 3rd and the 4th are going to be so close. It's going to be so close with all the tiebreakers and the late resurgence of teams and stuff like that. It's going to be nuts. And then we'll get into week 6 as well. We're going to talk about week 6, and we got our giveaway. So stick around before we actually get into the week 6 matchups. We got another giveaway, and it's a crazy one. These are flying off the shelves. These giveaways, guys. All the likes have been so fantastic, and I've been giving away so much stuff from our sponsor. We don't have a sponsor, but anyway. So yeah, let's dive into the week 5 matches. So we had TheUzi versus Shady. Let me just go to the schedule here so you guys can see. TheUzi versus Shady. They don't have the standings in here yet, or the results in here, but I know the results. I know what happened. TheUzi faced Shady. TheUzi was 2-2 going into week 5. Really needed this win. Shady was winless this season. Really wanted to win. A really heartfelt intro to his video going into week 5. It was really cool to watch, and it was just kind of seeing someone just be normal, just someone being human, and really showed their human nature of just playing and competing and stuff like that. So if you haven't checked it out, go check out Shady's week 5 battle. It was really cool, brought a tear to my eye. And the reason it brought a tear to my eye, because he ended up beating TheUzi, getting his very first win of the season. He was happier than someone happy that was supposed to be happy in that moment. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So Shady got his first win of the season. It was very convincing too. Played very well. Used this new team after the transactions. Yes, he already had it a week, but just it looked like he really had a grasp on that the Sneasler was just very sneezily, if you know what I mean, sneezlery, with the Dire Claw hacks and stuff like that. He ended up getting the sleeps that he needed against TheUzi's Pokemon. Just gave him the edge that he needed, and that's why we draft that Pokemon. That's why it's so expensive, is because it could change everything. Talking about turning a week on its head, that Pokemon with Dire Claw turned the entire match on its head, because now TheUzi's thinking about that, and then there's tilt, and then there's just momentum, and things are changing. It's really hard to pull it back. So go check out the match if you haven't. Both perspectives, they're really interesting. But Shady ended up taking this one, bringing him to 4-1. I believe his playoff picture is basically done. I don't know if there's anything he can do. It's really comes down to the people losing, and I just don't think it's likely that all of these things will align. So I think week 6 will probably put that final nail in the coffin for his season, but it's basically all but lost. So he's tied for last place, I think, right now. We'll get into who. But TheUzi, major loss for TheUzi. That one hurt me. That one hurt my soul. Starts off 2-0, beating really good players, and then loses the next 2, and then loses week 5 as well, going down to 2-3. His playoffs are not out of the question. It's just he has a very tough schedule, and at the same time, 2-3 with the players already fighting at 3-2, things like that. For that 4th playoff spot, it's just going to be very, very difficult. I believe in him. I think he could do it. He's shown that he can play VGC. He's a singles master, but you can tell he's really getting the hang of VGC, and I'm just so happy for him. So really glad to see his matches. Aaron versus Wolfey. Boy, was that one awesome. Again, if you guys haven't seen it, it was so cool. You just watched 2 friends that really, really wanted to beat each other. You could definitely tell that they both, I think Aaron's video might not be out yet actually, but in Wolfey's video, he just talked about a little bit of the history how many times they've played and things like that. The last time they played in Draft League, which was like the finals in the WBE, and he went through exactly what happened in that match, and then going into this match. And so in the end, just spoiling it because it's been about a week. You guys should have seen it by now, maybe about 4 or 5 days it should have been. But yeah, Aaron ended up beating Wolfey 2-1. Wolfey ended up taking game 1, and Aaron just won the next 2 games. I remember saying actually after game 1, when Wolfey won, I said, man, Aaron got a lot of information about Wolfey's team in that game 1. Like, he ended up losing, yeah, but he just gathered. He ended up losing, but he's just like, you know what? If I'm going down, I'm taking this with me. And he ended up just gathering all this information about Wolfey's team, got items, moves, everything, right? Terra types, obviously you get those for free. But I think I made a comment after game 1. I'm like, Aaron got a lot of information that match. Like, let's see what happens. And he ends up winning game 2, and then he got even stronger in game 3. So you could definitely tell that really helped, and he used his VGC experience to kind of get the best of Wolf. And I feel like Wolf probably knew he gave up a lot of information to get that win, and is not surprised that Aaron ended up pulling it back. So Aaron takes that one 2-1 in the battle, and or in the match, bringing him to 3-2. So he's actually putting himself in a very, very good position going into like week 6 and 7 to give himself a spot for the playoffs. And Wolfey just goes down to 4-1. Not a worry for him because he has so many wins early. It's very unlikely he won't make the playoffs, but it's possible. You never know. But yeah, if you haven't seen that one, go check it out. That's the one everybody was excited for. That's the one I was excited for. I just interviewed Aaron too, talking about that last time they faced off in draft, and it was really cool. So yeah, it did not disappoint. Mountaih versus Pokeaim. So Joey. So Mount actually won his first week last week against, I believe it was Shady. No, who did he play? It's right in front of me. Let me see. Yeah, he ended up beating Shady last week, getting his first win. And then he just but he was so dominant last week. Like, yes, Shady hadn't won at that point, so you know, like it was a match he was supposed to win probably, or expected to win, at least in his mind. And then he goes into this week and just beats Joey up. He ended up winning 2-0. It just looked like he was always in control the entire time. And then but again, if you're Joey, you just tip your cap and just go, you know what? You got the best of me. Joey goes down to 3-2. Again, that one really hurt because he was in second place. And then, unless he was tied with James, I don't remember what it was. I know that they both had 3-1 records, but it might have been Joey because his tiebreakers were very, very good. But Mountaih ends up getting the best of Joey in week 5, bringing him to 2-3. So now he's got a little bit of momentum going into week 6, and hopefully he's got his eyes set on that last playoff spot. And if he makes it, like going 0-3 and then winning out to go 4-3 to make the playoffs, I think you do not want to face him in round 1 after winning 4 straight. That is going to be a very scary round 1 matchup. I hope he does it. I hope, because everybody loves the underdog, right? So he's 0-3. He was actually probably one of the favorites to win it because he was just fresh off the SPL, but starts 0-3. Now he's not expected to do it, but now he's showing that he can still do it. Another singles guy showing that he can play VGC and make us all look bad. So that's another one. And Joey, I'm not too worried. He's got a great hold on his team. So again, he's 3-2, but I think he'll be fine. But he's got James Beck this week coming up, and then he's got Shady in week 7. So he's going to need at least one of those 2 wins to make it, preferably 2, just to make sure he can actually secure that playoff spot. And then the last match of week 5 was Nekkra versus James. Unfortunately, it was just one of those weeks that James just kind of did what he wanted to do. Nekkra actually had a really cool team. She decided to go for a stored power Clefable with cosmic power. I always got those 2 mixed up. Stored power, cosmic power. I actually did a stored power Arceus with cosmic power. And I remember there were a few times I went to go click the move to bulk up another turn, and it actually just used the 20 base power psychic move that did nothing. So I was like, they look the same. I get them mixed up. But she went for that. But it wasn't just the fact that she ran that. She ran Decorate next to it. She ran Coaching next to it. So that at one point that thing just OHKO'd a couple of Pokemon. But unfortunately, it was just too little, too late, because I believe that the Alchemy actually got frozen for like 4 turns, and it was we all hate the frozen status. It's so dumb. But anyway, so she ended up losing to James. I believe that she's probably right there with Shady. I think their seasons are over, being 1 and 4. It's just too high of a hill to climb, I think. You have to play literally perfect, and you have to hope that everybody else doesn't. So, unfortunately, with the field the way it is, which how good the players are, I don't think the players are going to just get, you know, just lose out, whatever it might be. But who knows? Statistics are statistics, and odds are odds, and numbers are numbers. So you never know, right? But we're gonna find. I think we're gonna in week 6 we're gonna have a couple of people like statistically eliminated, and then we'll actually have a playoff race in the last week of the season, and we're gonna talk about scenarios, who makes it, and what needs to happen in week 7, yada yada. So it should be fun. But let me see. So where does that bring us in the standings? So unfortunately, I do not have the standings, but I can kind of just roughly show you guys what's happening. So Wolfey lost 2-1, going down to 4-1 record. And then we have Joey lost, so he's 3-2. James won, so he's 4-1. But I believe that Wolfey's first because James doesn't have the tiebreakers that Wolfey does. Actually, wait a second. Is that points? He might. What's that 10? 1 second. What's that 10? I don't remember. I think it's points, actually. Hold on. So maybe James might have him. Where is it? Schedule? No, standings. If it's points... Yeah, because Wolfey would have 10 points. Because that's 4 wins. So 2-2-2-2. And then he won a couple of games 2-0. So that's another... Yeah, you know what? Because Wolfey would actually get 1 point for going 2-1. James would get 3 points, so they're actually tied. Hold on a second. And then it comes down to the kill differential. So James did really well with his kill differential, and then Wolfey did not. It would be really close. I don't think it matters who cares who's first and who's second in week 5 at the end, because it all comes down to who's where at the end of week 7, right? So James and Wolfey are clearly 1 and 2, 2 and 1, whatever it is, right? Then you have third place. You probably have Aaron and Joey side by side. You actually do. It's just a matter of who's first, who's second, or sorry, who's third, who's fourth. Then you have Uzi and Mount. They're both 2 and 3. Then you have Nekkra and Shady, who are both 1 and 4. So again, a lot of moving pieces. Like Aaron's moving up, Uzi's going down, Mount's moving up, Joey's moving down, James is moving up, Wolfey's moving down. It's insane. Like a lot of stuff shifted this week. Not crazily, but it shifted. So insane. So going into week 6, so what does this mean for, like, let's give a little bit of a preview of week 6 and what that actually means. So week 6, you've got Wolfey facing Shady. I do believe Wolfey's probably going to win that game. We'll get into the actual matchup itself because, again, top versus bottom, just literally statistically speaking. Joey versus James, that's probably the one I'm looking forward to the most, because that's a really important match. I think Joey, if he loses that one, he is in a very rough spot going into week 7, and then must beat Shady in week 7. And we all know how week 7s go. If you play draft against teams that are already eliminated from the playoffs, if that's the case, it is very hard to finalize your season against somebody that's just memeing or trying weird things, and a lot of things can happen. So I think Joey Pokeaim does not want that to happen, so I think he's looking for a win against James. James could probably afford a loss, but again, how tight the race is at 3 and 4, you definitely don't want to do that. If James wins, he definitely secures his playoff spot, so he's looking to do that. Then you have, let me see, Aaron is facing Mount. Again, the momentum that Mount has right now, that's going to be another insane match. Aaron versus Mount in week 6, because Mount's one of the hottest players right now. He has everything to lose. If he loses one more game, one more match, he's done, right? So, and then Aaron's also doing very well as well, right? So, and also Aaron's Aaron, so that's another thing. So that's a crazy one too. Uzi versus Nekkra. Uzi really needs a win. If Uzi doesn't get a win here, his season's done. And I think that says a lot. 2 and 3. You can go back to 3 and 3, and then you're hoping that maybe Aaron loses, goes down to 3 and 3, and then now you have Uzi, Mount, Aaron, and potentially Joey, all 3 and 3 in that. And then you're fighting on tiebreakers, so that's what he's hoping for, just to get that one win with Uzi over Nekkra. So we'll have to see how that one plays out. And then you have, let me see. Then you have, yeah, so that's all of them. So that's basically all the matches. So I'll break it down a little bit, maybe not with like the playoff implications, but we'll get into the match and what it means for the player maybe, and then we'll kind of go from there. So, but before we actually get into the week 6 matchups where I build teams, I've already built the teams. I'm just going to talk about what I think the players are going to do, what they're going to use, the strategies, maybe win conditions. I'll get into all of that. But before I get into that, we have our giveaway that I want you guys to stick around for before we actually get into these matchups. So for everyone who likes this video, and by the way, if you haven't claimed all your other prizes yet, all of your other giveaways so far, go watch the other videos and click like and subscribe, and then you'll actually get that stuff. I think we had like a Wicked Blow Incineroar, insane. We had a Mega Flygon, insane. We had a Primordial Sea Pelipper, that was crazy. So yeah, those just show up in your Pokemon home for some reason. Yeah. But anyway, so the giveaway for today, a very, very cool one. I think there's a lot of specific people that are going to be very excited about this one. So for everyone who likes this video, you will receive in your Pokemon home your very own inappropriate low punny Hold on a second. Wait, we don't have a picture for that? Nope, there's no picture? Makes sense. Yeah, it's probably safer. Yeah, we won't do that. Anyway, so okay, regardless, make sure you like and subscribe to secure yourself one of these can't miss Pokemon today. And now on to the week 6 matchups. Here we go. The first matchup, Cybertron versus Mountaih. I think I just mentioned that this is one of the most exciting matches of the week because there's so much going on. Aaron's such an incredible player. He's got his team on lockdown. Mountaih, huge momentum going into week 6. Really needs a win. Do or die for him. And I like the matchup. I built these teams and they were a lot of fun to make. Let's get into Aaron's team first. So on Aaron's team, yes, I'll get to the Yanma in a second. Hold on, everybody. Just simmer down. Don't worry, I'll get to it. But I definitely thought that this thing would make sense this week, and I'll get into why. But I'm going to start off with Weezing. So I think Weezing with Sludge Wave actually this week is really nice next to the Goldengo, because there's not a whole lot of status that's coming into this Goldengo right now. It's usually probably just Snarls and stuff like that, which good as gold doesn't really matter a lot. In this situation, you don't necessarily need your ability. Maybe Illumise for like Encores and stuff, but it doesn't have Prankster, so you might go first in some scenarios, depending on how you spec your Pokemon or Tailwind or whatever it is. So I like that synergy, Goldengo and the Weezing Galar. It also gives you Steel and Fairy coverage on the field at the same time. You can Sludge Wave, hit everything on the field except for your Goldengo. Just watch out, once you Terra Fairy with the Goldengo, you will be weak to it, but you can just Sludge Wave, get some tricky poisons if you need to, break sashes, hit everything on the field, miss your Goldengo, and then Goldengo could just start going off with its crazy damage because I do have the choice specs on there. I do have the Make It Rain, the Shadow Ball, the 2 stabs. Dazzling Gleam with Terra Fairy looks good into the team as well. And you have Psychic for that Toxapex. I think Toxapex is a little scary because that thing gets recovery. It looks like it's going to come this week against Aaron's team because, or at least you have to prepare for it because Make It Rain, Toxapex eats it for breakfast, right? That is something that it's very good at doing. I also think that Mountaih being a singles background player, Toxapex is very good in singles, so he definitely picked it up for a reason, so we'll have to see if he brings it. Murkrow, just to bring, I was actually really hoping that, I was doing some calcs for this one just on my own, and I couldn't find any good ones. I'll mention my findings a little bit, but Dual Wing Beat, I think I mentioned when Mountaih actually had this team, there's a lot of Sash candidates on this team. There's a lot of Sash candidates that are weak to flying. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4. All of them are weak to flying. Meowscarada, Illumise, Scraggy, and Blaziken. So Dual Wing Beat from a flying type stab Pokemon might be good enough. So I think I put Adamant and Max Attack in the Murkrow, and I was just short. So I do have the Terra Flying there. So if there's you find out there's a Sash somewhere, Meowscarada, Illumise, whatever it might be, Blaziken or Scraggy, and you really, really need that pickup, you could just go for the Terra Flying Dual Wing Beat, guarantee the knockout as long as you hit your moves, because it misses. I hit more Dual Wing Beats than any 90% accurate move, surprisingly. I don't know why. Actually, is it? 1 second. Dual Wing Beat is 90%, yeah. So I believe it only checks accuracy once, though. If you hit one, you hit both, so you'll know right off the bat if you're very unlucky. But anyway, so yeah, that Murkrow I think looks really good. You have the Quash on the team, not the Tailwind, because you don't want to set Tailwind in front of a Trick Room setter. That's the other thing. And if you have a little bit slower Pokemon like the Weezing, then you definitely don't want to have double speed. So Quash does allow you to get the speed advantage in Trick Room or not, right? So what Quash does is at a +1 priority, it actually allows the Pokemon you target to go last in that bracket, I believe, or last in the turn. 1 second. it is last in the turn. So it's basically a lagging tail. That lagging tail makes you go last in the turn no matter what. It doesn't matter what you do, it'll go last. So Quash does that, so that's really good for disrupting turn order. Say someone's trying to proc something on their partner, you could do that so it goes last, so now the partner does its move first, non-boosted, and then the support move goes in after. Not effective, right? So the Quash could be really nice, interrupting turn order. And also, if Trick Room's up, Quash still goes first. So they set Trick Room, the Ursaluna's on the field, yeah, I'm gonna go first. Well, Quash makes you go last. So I like that a lot. And we have Taunt and Haze. So Haze, just in case you run into some stat buffs that you just don't want to see. I know that the Electivire does have Motor Drive, and I do know that there's like Calm Mind boosts and things like that you can go for. And also just getting rid of that the Make It Rain drops on the Goldango. So you can just go for your Make It Rain with the choice specs, and then you just haze off all of those debuffs over and over and over. So I think that could be very strong. Palmot, I thought Palmot looked pretty good this week as well. Electra goes into the team pretty well, and fighting, I believe it was more so the fighting that you needed on a team like this. The Ursaluna Blood Moon, the Caparaja, yeah, it just hits things really, really hard. And why not just add the Life Orb? I don't know what the calc is for that, but I would imagine it picks up an Ursaluna Blood Moon. 115 attack, you would probably have to invest almost all of it, maybe even go Adamant in that situation. But you definitely want to get rid of that Ursaluna. You don't want to give it a hit. You're faster than it. You can get your speed control. You can get your Life Orb, your close combat damage. And we also have Double Shock on there with the Terra Electric, so we can use it multiple times, because I think Terra Water looks very good into a team that has Dondozo on it. So if you're prepping on Mount side looking at Dondozo, you're like, oh, well, Terra Water does really well. Aaron doesn't have a grass type, so, you know, it's pretty, and he doesn't have an electric type. He just has no, well, I guess he has Palmot, so that's a lie. Anyway, so, yeah, so, what was I saying? So Terra Water looks pretty good. So, as defense, so this allows you to just hit those things with Double Shock. And then Entrainment was actually one thing I wanted to add as well, because there are a few abilities on Mount's team that you wouldn't mind just getting rid of. For example, like Electivire, the way I'd like to run it was I would like to go with like a Motor Drive ability, and then I would go with a Terra Flying or something, or Terra Electric, and then it's safe from all electric moves. And so with Palmot, you can go for Entrainment, and you can make the Electivire lose its ability. Now you can hit it. Now it's vulnerable, right? But most of all, you can go for Entrainment into your own Slacking, which is coming soon. Change its ability from Truant to Entrainment, to Volt Absorb, which actually helps against the Electivire, which is really, really nice. I think that looks fantastic. So Palmot looks really good. No Protect on it, though. I don't think I have any Protect on the team except for Weezing right now. Yeah, I don't know. There's one Protect on the whole team so far. But what you've all been waiting for, Yanma. So Yanma, actually, I feel like this is a good week. Struggle Bug hits the Meowscarada, the Oranguru. It lowers the special attack of the Ursaluna, gets around the redirection from the Electivire, lowers the special attack of the Inteleon, and then you can run Feint. I feel like this thing is just very annoying. And Focus Sash allows you to get Tailwind up. So you could just go for the late Tailwind, so Illumise might set Tailwind first. Then the next turn you could set Tailwind yourself, and then you don't have to worry about your Tailwind lasts longer than theirs. So staggering that Tailwind could be good as well. Hypnosis, just for some cheeky stuff. Once you get that speed boost, if he doesn't lead his speed control, Hypnosis might just win you a game, right? So I think it's almost like the Gothitelle that people would used to run on teams. They're like, you know what? You can't ignore it because I'm just going to stick around and keep clicking Hypnosis. Yeah, it's not very accurate, but if I stick around on the field long enough, I'm going to hit one. That's all I need to win the game. So Terra Ghost to get around the Fake Out on the team from Scraggy. And also Feint. Feint is actually probably one of the more underrated moves in Pokemon, especially in Draft. Just because, like, they're expecting to protect. It breaks sashes. It's a +2 priority. So it even goes before +1 priority. Because obviously 2 is a greater number than 1. But it breaks sash, it hits it first, and it breaks protect, right? So you could just go for a Feint into a Pokemon you think is going to protect, and then Goldango just obliterates things, right? So it's just a safe attack into that slot if you decide to go with that. And then the last Pokemon is Slacking. I think Slacking looks good almost every single week. Terra Fairy is just a great defensive Terra. His poison type is Toxapex on the other side, so you don't have to worry about. And then Copperajah, just watch out for it, so you should be okay. You have enough to hit it back. So it's a good defensive typing. Resist the fighting as well on the Blaziken and the Scraggy. And we have Double Edge, Knockoff, High Horsepower, Drain Punch. Drain Punch just to get some HP back after the Double Edge recoil. And that's basically Aaron's team. That's what I think he might bring against them. Again, this might be the week he brings Yanma. Really needs a win this week. Who else needs a win? We have Mountaih right here facing him. Whenever you have an Ursaluna Blood Moon on your team, you start the team with Ursaluna Blood Moon. How are you going to enable this thing? Well, I've got both of them right here. I've got the Illumise right here, and I have the Follow Me Electivire. So now this Blood Moon is very well supported. You have the Trick Room Setter and Oranguru right there as well, and you just have Meowscarada to hit the water types that threaten it. The ability shield on the Illumise just to get around that Weezing's neutralizing gas. I think that every single week, Aaron has to find out which Pokemon has that ability shield. You could probably guess it for the most part in Team Preview, or you can probably predict it. I think we've been right for the most part on who's going to carry the ability shield in these predictions. But AV just allows it to stick around a little bit longer. We do have the defensive Terra Electric on there just to handle the Dondozo, handle the Palmon a little bit better. Not like you're using an electric move against an Ursaluna Blood Moon anyway, so that was kind of silly. But Mind's Eye just gets through the Ghost type, so hits the Goldango if you want to. Earth Power, Hyper Voice, Moonblast, just very, very solid coverage across the board. Just going to hit like a truck. Illumise, we do have the Struggle Bug just to lower the special attack of the Goldango. And that's pretty much it. I don't think there's any, like maybe the Weezing, but I don't think it's not doing a ton of damage anyway, so don't think that really matters. But the Goldango mostly. We do have the Tailwind, obviously, the Encore, and the Helping Hand. I think that Helping Hand, again, talking about one of the more broken or underappreciated moves in the game, people like to calc for max items and, you know, like maximum damage from items like Life Orb, Expert Belt, like Feather, like the feathers that do the damage, the plates, like the 0.2 item, 1.2. So Helping Hand just makes all of those calcs just go out the window, because like say for even like say you're doing like 40% one turn, then the next turn they're like, oh, I can take another one. Well, you go for Helping Hand, KO it. Now what? You might lose the game, right? So I love Helping Hand, love Encore, I love Illumise just in general. Steel type for defensive Terra and the ability shield to get by that pesky Weezing Galar. Meowscarada. Whenever you're facing a Dondozo team with Tatsugiri, unfortunately, you have to bring a lot of Dondozo Tatsugiri counters. Encore is one because Dondozo is the only Pokemon on the field. So if it can't protect, and if it does, it just locks into it and it can't do anything for the entire time. You could position, set up whatever you want to do, and just keep clicking Encore. You have the Meowscarada with Flower Trick. Flower Trick's really cool because it gets around those +2 buffs. Because Dondozo, once Tatsugiri hits the field, gives you +2 in every single stat you have. So that +2 defense with any sort of attack is not going to do a lot. Flower Trick hits super effectively. From a Meowscarada, Terra Grass with Overgrow. This is going to hit a lot if I'm down to Sash. And not many Dozos are going to take this very well. So knockoff for just good stab damage, and then the low kick just to be able to hit that slacking. I did calc it, and it is a 100 power attack against the slacking, so I like that. I was considering running Protein on there just so I can get the boost, but also this thing's on here for the Flower Trick. It's not on here for anything else, so may as well have it do what it do best on this team. Oranguru, we've got just a pretty standard Oranguru. Again, I have Encore on there just in case Trick Room's up, and then the Dondozo once again. Encore is just a very nice move. You can also Encore that Goldango. If it decides to go for a Nasty Plot and the Weezing's on the field, you could just Encore it into its Nasty Plot because its good as gold is gone. So that might be kind of sneaky just to get that by. Foul Play allows you to hit that Slacking and the Dondozo as well, just doing decent damage. And then the Psychic allows you to hit that Weezing just to get it off the field, and the Palmon. So Oranguru can be an offensive threat and a support Pokemon this week. We do have the Toxapex here. This one was really hard to choose which moves to put on this, because I wanted to have I wanted to be able to poison things with like Toxic. I wanted to run Wide Guard for the Goldango, Earthquake, things like that. I wanted to run a bunch of different moves on this Toxapex, but I did have to settle for this one. So Haze for that Dozo, of course, for the Goldango, just to clear those buffs, just in case Aaron decides to go that way. Recover, because Recover on a Pokemon this bulky if you can't 2-hit KO this Pokemon, you lose, because recover will heal your 50%. If they're doing 40%, they hit it again, you could heal again, then they attack you, you heal again, attack you, you heal again, back up to health, and so on and so forth. If you switch, now there's full health again, and you know what I mean? So this thing could be a final win condition if you're not careful. So I think recover is a great move on there. Baneful Bunker is just a broken protect. Protect is already broken, but Baneful Bunker just makes it so they're poisoned if they make contact, I believe. Yeah, if they make contact, they get poisoned. So just regular poison, not toxic. And then you could just start recovering. Muddy Water allows them to miss all their moves once you get those accuracy drops. And there's really no risks because there's no Defiant, Competitive, no reason to avoid those special, those accuracy drops from Muddy Water. And it's a water type. Yeah, you don't have the highest special attack, but it's chip. That's all you really need. You just want to stall out your opponent with this one. Electivire. I think that the Electivire is kind of like this little mix set on this. Not mixed as in like attack and special attack. It's because Follow Me, this thing can support its team very well. I think that Follow Me Trick Room is a great turn for Oranguru. Follow Me with the Ursaluna protecting it looks great. Follow Me protecting the Meowscarada looks great. And not to mention, if they don't lead something that's going to threaten the partner, you can just go for an attack. Thunderbolt's really strong into this team. Dondozo, Goldango, I think T-Bolt's going to hit pretty hard. You have Psychic for the... Yes, it gets Psychic. Hits the Weezing, the Palmont. T-Bolt and Psychic hit everything on this team you could need. And then you have Protect on this team with the Life Orb. Terra Flying, because I mentioned the Palmont. You got to watch out for the electric moves. So instead of running... There's no reason to really run the Anti-Sleep and Vital Spirit, because I don't think he's running... I'm predicting it, the Hypnosis, because why not? But I don't think that gives me enough reason to not run Motor Drive. I think it's great, especially when you're facing a Palmont. Allows you to get around those Earthquakes from Slacking and Dondozo. And it also allows you to take those electric moves at the same time. So very cool stuff. So that's Mountaih's team. Yeah, who am I going to pick this week? I should probably pick winners, shouldn't I? How do I not go with Mountaih? How do I not? I just interviewed Aaron and he was so cool and I got to know him and I want him to win, but Mountaih, who doesn't love a good underdog? I think he would forgive me if I predicted Mountaih this week. I'm going Mountaih. I'm hopping on the Mountaih train and he's going to get himself a win and secure himself a playoff spot in week 7, but he needs one this week, so I'm going for Mount this week. On to the second match. The second match, we've got James Beck versus Pokeaim. James Beck and Pokeaim. James Beck is 4-1. Again, we mentioned that he's probably got to secure his playoff spot secured. Playing very well with his team. He's kind of got a team that's a little similar to Wolf, doesn't he? Just in the sense that it doesn't have like obvious synergy and obvious modes. It has some. You can probably see some. You got Discharge Earthquake and all that stuff. And you got your Veil protecting your Annihilate. You have other different ways of activating your Rage Fist on the Annihilate, which he hasn't really done this season, but he can do it if he just doesn't need to, I guess. Yeah, it's really hard to predict what this team is going to do. It's just a bunch of stuff, you know? Bunch of stuff on a team, but he's using the stuff very well. He's just got like every tool he needs. He just goes, I need these tools this week. And he pulls them out and uses them, and he's been getting 4 wins out of his 5 weeks. So very good for him. But what team do I think he's going to bring? This might be cooking a bit. I try to do... James doesn't really play like really out like in left field stuff. But one of these days he's going to do it. And I'm going to be right. And it's going to be great. So he's been bringing some weird teams that they've been working. So here's a weird team for you. Weakness Policy Annihilate. I think it was kicking around for a while in VGC, but I just think it can be very strong with the amount of bulk it has, especially if you can get around get the Aurora Veil up and things like that. Then Annihilate just lasts even longer. So if you can activate a Weakness Policy, maybe get the Veil up, he tries to hit it super effectively. You take it well because you have the Veil up, and it's just, you know, say for example, like I don't know, like what might hit it. Maybe like a Draining Kiss or something like that. If you get the Veil up, it might not do that much, and then you could just hit really hard back. So especially with the Rage Fist, once you take your hit, Weakness Policy goes off, your +2 attack, and then you get your Rage Fist boost as well, making it a 100 power move, which can be very good as well. Pokeaim doesn't have Intimidate on the team or many ways of lowering stats. Like, he can, I just think that people usually avoid it knowing that there's Defiant on the other side. So go ahead and run Vital Spirit. You got to watch out for yawns and things like that. I just think it's more useful than running your Defiant this week. It might be a mistake, but are there any other ways of putting things to sleep? I don't think so. Yeah, probably just Yawn. I think Jolteon gets Yawn, Lapras gets Yawn, I think, and Chimecho gets Yawn, maybe Hypnosis, things like that. So who knows? It might just be a little bit better. There's definitely a choice by Jingles over here. Rage Fist, Drain Punch for your 2 stabs, and Thunder Punch allows you to hit all of those water types on the other side of the field, including the Pelipper. It just has a decent defense stat, so may as well run something that could just get rid of it. Kilowattrel I thought looked really good this week. I put Discharge on there because I wanted to get around Lightning Rod, just so I can hit both sides pretty hard. I don't really care if the Rhydon gets the boost because it's not a special attacker anyway. The Jolteon, if you need to, who cares? You're just healing it. If it's max HP, it doesn't really matter. Thunderbolt just for single target, just in case you don't want to go for... Oh, sorry, that's what it was. Just in case you have the Wide Guard on the field. That's what it is. So it allows you to hit single target and double target. Both of them have a specific scenario. Weather Ball, because there's both weathers. You've got rain and you've got hail. Snow. You've got snow and you've got rain. And the cool thing about if snow is up, you can hit that Rhydon very hard and the rain. So no matter what, you can use that Weather Ball and hit that Rhydon. And I think that's great. And let me see. So Terra Blast, Terra Fighting is just a very nice way to just get rid of that Archaludon right away. I think that as soon as Joey sees that it's Terra Fighting, he's going to know in Team Preview that it is Terra Blast. He might not know if it survives. He might. I don't think there's a reason to run it. Maybe for Rock Resist. Yeah, maybe. You know what? Maybe it's not so guaranteed because there is a Rhydon on the other side of the field. Rock Slides do hurt it, so you might think a defensive Terra with Fighting. It takes it really well. Who knows, right? Volt Absorb allows you to take those Electro Shots perfectly well, and Jolteon's really strong moves. And because yes, the electric moves do hit Kilowattrel neutrally if you don't have the Volt Absorb on there. So I think that looks great too. Alolan Ninetales Freeze Dry just makes Pelipper's disappear. I think it looks great. Hits Greninja really hard, hits the Rhydon really hard, hits the Basculegion really hard. Why not? Foul Play, just in case you want to run that Rhydon, just in case you want to run the Basculegion, just in case you want to hit it even harder. So you can just go for those. Icy Wind just for a little bit of speed control, because why not? And you have Protect. Terra Water for defensive Terra, and then you have the Focus Sash on there. Blastoise. I thought Blastoise looked okay as well. If he's going to set the rain for you, Rain Dish is probably one of the few times you're going to run this ability. Usually it's just Torrent, because the rain has to be up for you to get your free leftovers boost, because why not? Flash Cannon I thought looked pretty good, because you got to find a way to get rid of that Comfey. Yes, it's not going to be hitting super hard, but you need something for that Comfey, and Terra Steel Flash Cannon might be enough. Hits the Rhydon as well. You're probably hitting Muddy Water anyway. Gets around Terra Fairies. I know that Archaludon looks okay with Terra Fairy, and so does Chimecho. So maybe Flash Cannon does some work. And then Muddy Water boosted by the rain, I think looks pretty good as well. So a fun set on the Blastoise there. Citrus Berry just for some survivability. The Crocodile. I've been wanting James to run a set like this all season, and he hasn't. So I'm going to keep guessing it until we get it. So Knock Off High Horsepower just hits the 2 stabs just as much as you need it to. Does exactly what you think it does. And then you have the Breaking Swipe Snarl combo. I think those 2 moves are very nice with a defensive Terra in grass. It allows you to stick around and just chip away, break the sashes. There's no downside to clicking a stat dropping move. It lowers the attack and special attack. And if you don't really care about the Archaludon's stamina boost, you just start lowering its special attack with the Snarls. Now it just can't do a lot of damage to you. So why not, right? And the Electro Shot against the Crocodile just doesn't work anyway, so who cares? So I think this is a really cool set. I love Crocodile in Draft. I haven't played it in a long time, but I do think it'd be very good in today. Hydrapple. The reason I put Hydrapple on the team is because I feel like having a grass type here looks pretty good. You do have to watch out for the flying moves on the Pelipper and the other dragon moves coming against you. So Terra Steel just does the job. I feel like Terra Steel's not a bad Terra into Joey's team, especially with the defensive stats that Hydrapple has. It's very bulky, good HP stat, and really high defense stat. It might be able to take that Basculegion's Onslaught if you Terra, right? Because that thing is just out of the box, super strong. And then Regenerator, just in case you wanted to pivot around, get your HP back. So you definitely want to make that that HP stat 1/3, divisible by 1/3, so you can get the maximum Regenerator healing when you switch in and switch out. It's just optimizing. I don't know if those numbers in front of me right now, but Citrus Berry, what's it called? Regenerator, and then you have the 1/3 berries, like I have Papa Berry, and you have Figgy Berry, things like that. They heal 1/3, so you want to make your HP a multiple of 1/3. So just for maximum optimal numbers. So that's it for James' team. Is that going to get him his 5th win of the season and secure his playoff spot? Who knows? We're going to get into Pokeaim's team now after I get a little drink. Ah, man. These videos, they take a lot out of me. Archuludon, why not? I don't even know if I should go over this thing. This is the most standard Archuludon ever. Terra Ghost is the only unique thing out of it. It's just because you want to be able to get around that Annihilape's close combat that could just possibly delete you turn 1. And it also gets around the final Gambit as well. So you never know, right? Especially once he finds out. I don't think he'll do it right off the bat because there is a sturdy possibility where final Gambit just will knock you down to 1 HP. Then your Annihilate goes down and it's just not a fair trade. So once you get that stamina boost in game 1, I can see him maybe doing that. So Terra Ghost does get around that. Pelipper, it wouldn't be an Archuludon set if you didn't have Pelipper. Its best friend next to it. Terra Electric for defensive Terra. Hurricane. Weather Ball on the other side as well. I know that we added on Kilowattrel. Same reason. You could run the Ice move if the snow's up. And then you can run the 100 power Water move if the rain is up as well. So you might be able to KO that Crocodile. Might be able to... Oh yeah, the Hydrapple. That's what it was too. Yeah. Instead of Hurricaning, if he decides to set that snow, you can just delete that Hydrapple in one shot with a Weather Ball. So why not? Tailwind just to match the Tailwind on the other side and then Protect. Focus Sash on there. Basculegion, we mentioned out of the box Onslaught from the Basculegion. Terra Ghost Choice Band. I think this thing late game looks really good with a Last Respects. You got to choose a move to lock into late game if you're going to bring it in with the Choice Band item. Last Respects, after a couple of Pokemon have gone down, it is now a 150 power attack. If 3 Pokemon have gone down, it is a 200 power attack. Let me just double check. It's a 50 power move. 1 goes down, it's 50. 2 go down, it's 150. 3 go down, it's 200. So yeah, very strong attack, and it might just win him the game at the end. This is a pretty standard set with a Choice Band. Usually it's Terra Water, but it is adaptability. That's the other thing. So we do want that speed control, which we do. Let me see. We have the Pelipper with the Tailwind, and then late game, we might just be fast enough to outspeed other things on James's side of the field. Maybe the Blastoise, maybe the Crocodile, if the Crocodile isn't invested, maybe the Annihilate if it's bulkier, and definitely the Hydrapple. So yeah, maybe set the Tailwind up, and maybe just come in a little bit later and just delete things. Comfey keeping things alive as usual. Terra Fairy just to make that Draining Kiss even stronger, and that Helping Hand, as I mentioned in one of the other matches, a very, very good move, especially with the Basculegion, right? You go for a Wave Crash in the rain with a Helping Hand. I don't care what resists it. This thing's, whatever it hits is dying. I wouldn't be surprised if it KO'd a Blastoise. Seriously. You know what? Just for fun, I'm going to do it. You guys like when I do this, right? Basculegion. Before I do this, pause the video. Comment, do you think this is going to KO? Bandit Swift Swim, I'm going to go Adaptability. Adamant, Wave Crash. Rain is up. Helping Hand boosted. We're going to go into the Blastoise. Oh, hold on. Let's throw some investing in here. 252. Oh my goodness, this KOs most Blastoise. Hold on, what do you need to survive this? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. You need 228 EV's defense and max HP on a Blastoise to survive a Basculegion resisted hit. When I say there's no resists or switch-ins to this attack, there are literally no switch-ins for this attack. Oh my goodness. Very cool stuff. I'm glad we did that. That was fun. So yeah, Helping Hand, just in case you need to KO a Blastoise with a Wave Crash. Just, have you ever done that, Calc? I haven't. I think the Rhydon looks great here too. You got to watch out for the Intimidate from the Crocodile. So that Clear Amulet instead of the Eviolite this week. Terra Grass, just a probably the best defensive Terra for Rhydon. Lightning Rod does protect you a little bit against that Kilowattrel. The rest of the team, that's usually why it's there. And then you have Ice Fang just to get rid of that Hydrapple, because the Rock Slide, the high horsepower in the Rock Slide don't go into that Hydrapple very well. And you want to have at least all of your matchups checked for. If you can't, then you have to have the rest of the team pick it up. But with these 3 moves, it does cover what you need to hit, at least neutrally, on the entire team. So I like that. The Sneasel Hisui just adds an extra fake out and coaching. We do have the close combat, which looks really good into the Crocodile. One thing I like about the Sneasel is you can't be intimidated. So this close combat will surely KO this Crocodile if needed. So why not? And for it, he hasn't brought it all season. I think maybe he brought it 1 week and just didn't use it. Defensive Terras, like maybe Steel or maybe Normal or something like that. Who knows, right? So close combat looks great. Can't be intimidated. Gunk Shot, just for the Hydrapple as well. And the Ninetales and potential like Terra Fairies are always really nice. It's a great defensive Terra, so why not? And yeah, this thing is really meant to get coaching boosts off on the Archaludon with the Body Press, the Basculegion with its already insane damage, the Rhydon, why not, right? So, oh, I also didn't mention that Comfey does have Trick Room on there. So you do have that dual mode. You have Tailwind and Trick Room on the same team. So why not? You can go for Fake Out and then the Trick Room. Sneasel Hisui goes down. Then you bring in the Rhydon for free. Why not? So that's Joey's team. Who do I think is going to win this week? I don't know why, but it feels like ever since Joey made his transactions, like and swapped out his whole team, I feel like it hasn't looked as comfortable, has it? Am I right? Like, I know he's won three weeks in a row. He lost against Mount, but again, he lost the game against Aaron, lost the game against Uzi, and I actually felt like Uzi was in a good position to win that week. So these haven't been super convincing weeks for him, and he lost against Mount. So yes, he got those wins, but they didn't look pretty, I don't think. So, and he would probably say the same thing as well. Like he would probably say that he wishes, you know, he got a little bit better out of that. But beating Aaron Zhang, I think in any capacity, why not, right? It's really impressive. So yeah, and he lost to Mount this week, which that's probably one that he wanted back for sure. But yeah, James this week, it just doesn't get any easier for him. So anyway, so I would have to give the edge to James this week. He's just been playing so well. His fundamentals are just fantastic this season. He's just putting himself in a position to win all the time. I feel like James is not James, but Joey's playing a little bit more reactive, maybe since he made his transactions. He's still a hell of a player, but I also feel like out of the two players, James, you know, don't hear what I'm not saying, guys. Joey is a fantastic player, but when it comes next to another player, which is a world caliber player, James, I think will take the win this week. So we'll have to see how it all plays out. Match number 3, Wolfey versus Shady. Unfortunately, Shady, sorry, Shady. I don't know how you're going to win this. Like Wolf is just, he's so experienced, and yeah, Shady's doing his best out there. Like he's got a Sneasler, so you never know, right? You never know how it's going to go. It's just, again, Wolf is just so good, right? Like, and yeah, I felt bad for Shady in his video this week. He ended up getting the win, but you could definitely tell he felt defeated at the beginning of the video and his week before, where he was just like, he lost and he just kind of like screamed. But he talked about how he almost wanted to quit, but I'm glad he didn't. He's sticking it out. So I'm really curious what he's going to bring against Wolf. I have a couple of ideas, so let's see what he actually brings. But let's get into Wolf's team first, because he's left and then Shady's right, left to right. Why not? I thought that the Hariyama looked fantastic this week. Wolf at 4-1. I feel like if he just wins this week, even just one of the 2 games, it probably secures it with all his tiebreakers that he has. Yeah, he definitely wants a win this week, facing a team that's 1-4. He did just win his last week, his first game of the season, but so there might be a little bit of momentum there, and you know, like just he's super happy and feeling good, so that's always tough to face. But again, Wolf's just Wolf, right? It's kind of tough to bet against him. Terra Dragon, nice defensive Terra. He's got no fairy type on the team, so why not? I think Dragon's a great defensive Terra if he has none. Terra Dragon is definitely susceptible against a Salamence, but we do have the Ice Punch there to KO it back. So yes, we have a defensive Terra against everything else, but if we do get that one matchup, say Trick Room is up, we can KO that Salamence back. So really nice. And then you have Drain Punch, Fake Out, and Detect. So Ice and Fighting, I do believe hit everything. Fighting, yeah, so actually Fighting and Ice hit everything neutrally and super effectively on the team, so except for like Sneasler, it doesn't hit super effectively. Indeedee, no. Stantler, no. But everything else, those two moves hit everything super effectively. So this thing's going to do a lot. Why not boost the damage with Flame Orb and Guts? I think it looks fantastic. And just because it's such an offensive threat this week, I think that Detect makes sense on there. It's really hard to fit a protecting move on Hariyama. So yeah, this is the week. It's nice when you have two moves that hit everything. Speaking about hitting everything, if I'm Wolfey and I have a type chart like that on the other side of the field where it has no fairy resist, I'm going Choice Specs and I'm just clicking Dazzling Gleam until you KO me. And Defensive Terror with Poison, because you got to watch out for that Thwacky on the other side of the field. That's Primarina is one of its biggest threats, are that Rillaboom / Thwacky line. So yeah, may as well just have a Defensive Terror against it. The Psychic is from the Indeedee. The Braviary's there as well, yes, but just avoid those two and you'll be fine with, and then the Mudsdale as well, which you also hit back very hard pre-Terra. So you hit the Mudsdale back hard. So I'm willing to take those bad matchups with the Terra just so I can, you know, have good defensive typing against the rest of the team. Noivern, pretty standard Noivern. He's been running it all season. Not the same set, but variations of it. Covert Cloak makes sense. Covert Cloak or Sash is usually what you do on it. I think one week he ran Scarf or something, and he tricked it or switcherooed it onto like a Scraggy, so that was kind of cool. Very creative player. Draco Meteor, just to get rid of that Salamence and just really good damage to just get rid of something. Air Slash, again, just stab, hit that Thwacky, hit the Sneasler, sorry, and just Tailwind Taunt to get around that Indeedee. Taunt to stop the Swords Dance from the King Gambit. Taunt to stop the Tailwind on the Salamence itself. Trick Room, and so on and so forth. So, pretty standard set. Trevenant, I think Wolf would probably say it's one of his MVPs this season, right? Like Trevenant, I feel like this thing's been on the field a lot. And I don't know if you guys saw, I actually did a YouTube post. This thing was run with Harvest last week in the sun that he set, and Trevenant just had the Citrus Berry on, and it was taking hits, healing up with its berry, getting it back from the sun. Then he took more damage, healed up again, sun was still up, got his berry back, healed again, and it was insane. So Trevenant, I believe, like took over 500 HP of damage in that one game. It was insane. I actually have the real number that I calculated in the post, so go check it out. And why not like the post so other people can see it? It was a really neat one. So what's the goal of this Trevenant? Well, Trick Room makes sense. I had a hard time fitting moves on here for it because there are a couple matchups I just didn't have any moves for. But the Woodhammer, really nice into that Mudsdale. And then you have the Will-O-Wisp, just threatens all the physical attackers on the team. Knockoff just being really annoying on the field. So I feel like Trevenant's not there to do a ton of damage unless it's against the Mudsdale. And then just being super annoying with Will-O-Wisp and Knockoff, right? And then it goes down after setting Trick Room, does its job. You know, I like to cook sometimes. And if you look at this Espathra, this is more Hell's Kitchen cooking. How many of you have seen the Opportunist ability actually used? So here's the cool thing. So I'm going to actually talk about Arcanine and Espathra at the same time. So how does Opportunist work? Opportunist allows you to copy any stat raises that your opponent has. You can activate these things by giving them raises. How do we do that? Usually we avoid King Gambit activating its Defiant like the Plague. But with an Espathra with low kick, we get an Opportunist, we get a +2 attack, then the Arcanine. So, sorry, let me restart. Espathra's on the field with something else. The King Gambit's on the field. Espathra doesn't really threaten King Gambit much because it's a special attacker, you know, Ghost and Fairy moves and stuff like that. King Gambit might be setting up. Well, Arcanine goes for the switch in, uses Intimidate against the Defiant Pokemon, gives it a +2 attack. Espathra copies the +2 attack. Now low kick is double boosted, KOing with quad super effective damage into King Gambit. If that's not cooking, I don't know what it is, guys. And if we'll see it, I guessed a really unique strategy with Topsy Turvy against a Dondozo in week 1, and I was right. I've gotten a couple other really unique ones. I think there was like Mirror Coat, Araquanid. Apparently I'm in Uzi's head or something, but hopefully I can get in Wolf's head this week. And I guess this would be really cool if we got to see it. And if you don't get to see it and you have this combo, use it yourself against King Gambit. This is definitely a fun way to get rid of it. So let's see if we see it. The Arcanine, again, just close combat, being able to hit the King Gambit with the Flare Blitz or the close combat, but, you know, at least it gives you a super effective move if it goes Terra Dark. Crunch just allows you to hit other things like the Indeedee as well, and then the Flare Blitz is hitting things. So, also close combat helps out with that Flash Fire Houndoom as well. So you don't want to be able to not hit it at all. So Life Orb just to boost the damage, and Terra Dark to boost the crunch damage. So beautiful set, beautiful set. Wolfey has had a fun team this season. I think he's got a handle on it, and I think that I liked it when the season started. I really liked it. But on to Shady's team. I think this might just be a week where you just go straight, like balls to the walls, Psychic Surge, Choice Scarf, Expanding Force with Tinted Lens. Tinted Lens makes it so if you resist the psychic attacks, it does neutral damage, because if you look at that, not very effective means it does half damage. So anything that's not very effective does double damage. What's double of half? 1, right? So it does regular damage to resisted hits. As long as they're not immune to it, you're going to be able to hit super hard. So Expanding Force, Terra Psychic, allows you to be grounded. So you get the Psychic Terrain boost, the Psychic Terra boost, Expanding Force boost, might just delete the field, who knows? So I think that's really cool. Esper Wing just hits things, Hurricane hits things, and so does U-Turn, gets it off the field with the choice item. Indeedee just to support the Pokemon. Helping Hand, I think with the... Ooh, I have Terra Psychic on there. Let's just go Dark or something. Oops, guys, sorry. Yeah, Follow Me just to help it stick around. Helping Hand, again, Helping Hand makes all calcs go to die. And even like resisted hits, they're not resisted with Tinted Lens, gets the Helping Hand, and just does a lot of damage. Just watch out for that Hariyama with Wide Guard. But we also have single target Psychic, and we have single target Flying just to get rid of that thing as well. So it also gets around the Venonat Rage Powder stuff as well with the Expanding Force. So very cool set. Sneasler, he ran this last week. If it ain't broken, don't fix it. Why not do it again? Psychic Seed allows you to unburden, boost your speed. Terra Dark with the Throat Chop looks really nice into the things that Dire Claw and close combat don't hit, like the Trevenant. So that's why I had Trevenant on Wolfey's team, is because it's a good answer for the Sneasler's stab attacks. So it's almost like Shady has to run Throat Chop unless it wants to just lose against the Trevenant, and you don't want to do that. King Gambit, it's there with the Assault Vest. I think Terra Poison Jab is great against a Primarina, especially when Primarina has been so good this season. So if you have Poison Jab, Assault Vest, you take hits from Prim really well, but Terra Poison Jab probably KOs it back or very close to doing so. So it's a little bit of a dual purpose. Sucker Punch, Kowtow Cleave. We don't need the steel coverage against Shady's team this week because Dark just goes so well into it. And then we have the Poison Jab, which also goes well into it. We have Low Sweep for speed control. So Low Sweep allows us to hit that Mamoswine, allows us to hit the Hisuian Sliggoo, and it also gives us a bit of speed control, just in case, you know, you want to outspeed something and chip something. Very nice. Catch people on a switch in, gets a speed drop, and just hits it. Thwackey, I think you need to bring Thwackey when you see Primarina. I don't think there's any doubt in my mind Thwackey is going to be there this week. Terra Grass just to boost that Woodhammer damage. I'm half expecting it to be Choice Banded as well, but I have Eviolite on there just to give it some staying power. Knockoff, one of the most annoying moves in the game. Taunt allows you to stop that Trevenant from setting Trick Room, Venonat from going for the Sleep Powder stuff, and Sliggoo just from going for like all of its setup and support. Like Taunt into Wolf's team is very nice. I like it a lot. Last Pokemon on Shady's team, I got the Mudsdale. Inner Focus gets around the Intimidate. You don't need to run that stamina boost this week. High Horsepower, Heavy Slam, Rock Slide hits most things on the team. So let me see, just double check. High Horsepower, yep. And then you have Rock Slide and Heavy Slam hit the Trevenant, and Rock Slide and Heavy Slam hit the Noivern. And then you have Protect just for a little bit of staying power, and Leftovers healing every single time. So just make sure you hit that HP stat to a multiple of 16. I believe 192 or 208 does the job. So anywhere around there, or just another multiple of 12 or a multiple of 16 does the trick. So that's it for Shady's team. Who's going to win this week? I think it's Wolf. Surprise. Sorry. Yeah, again, it's just really hard. Like, I have to be real with you guys. Like, and I don't think Shady's expecting to come out with a win. I think he has a chance. I think everybody would say that he has a chance. You know, Pokemon's a very, frustrating game sometimes, right? Especially when you have a Sneasler. So a lot will have to go right for Shady to win this game, but it's not impossible. So, but I do think just the experience of Wolf and the team that he has and the way he's been playing it And even with the way Shady's been playing this season with the team he has, there's just so much going for Wolf and so much going against Shady. I don't think there's any surprise that I would pick Wolfey to win over Shady this week. Sorry, Shady, I love you. And the last match of the week, we got Nekkra versus Uzi. Very, very important week for Uzi. So, but we're going to get into Nekkra's team. Her playoff picture, she could win out with 4 losses. It's possible, again, very unlikely that she can actually grab a playoff spot with 4 losses. Again, there's too many middle ground teams right now for you to squeak in. I feel like that 4th playoff spot has got to be earned, I think. And that's going to be a 4-3 record with a very good tiebreaker. So 4 wins is going to do it in my mind. So I think somebody in the Discord, by the way, if you haven't joined Discord, join the Discord. We do a lot of draft talk, we talk about videos, we talk about the matchups, and we talk about everything WDL, and just a lot of people are having fun building. Anyway, that's a little bit of a plug. But yeah, so Nekkra, I just don't think that 3 wins is going to do it, and that's the max she's capable of this season with the amount of weeks we have left. Uzi needs a win. His playoffs will be done if he loses this week. He needs to win out the last 2 weeks of the season. He needs to, or else he's going to be out. So very impressive season so far, especially being his first season of VGC that he's ever done. He's never even done casual battles or anything either. So he's doing a fantastic job, and he's just been a pleasure to have in the league right now. I've been chatting with him a little bit as well, and just gotten to know him, and he's just having the time of his life. So good for him. But into the matchup, enough of the sappy stuff. I'm going pretty standard for Nekkra this week. I built this team pretty quick just because I don't know what to guess for Nekkra when she builds. I don't know. Last week, you know, I went for like maybe a Fletchender with the Tailwind, and I think James was really expecting the Fletchender with the Tailwind as well and didn't see it. I think like I had just pretty standard stuff on the team that I thought was pretty good, and she decided to go for coaching and what's called decorate into her Clefable with stored power and cosmic power. I can't guess that. I've guessed some weird stuff before, so I guess I could have, but it's hard to guess when the week is to do that, right? It's almost like you have to build a team around it specifically for it, catch them off guard and go for it. So I don't think she'll do it twice, so let's just say that. She is an entertainer for sure, so I think she's going to have some other interesting, fun strat to watch. Very fun games to watch on Nekkra's side. So, but again, what's my standard? I'm going to go for Terra Fairy T-Tar, knock off Stone Edge just to be able to KO that Araquanid. I don't know if it does, but I don't like that matchup with the Rock Slide. I think I need more damage out of Stone Edge. Yes, you might miss, but yeah, you might also high crit, and you might just KO the Araquanid straight up, might win you the week, so we'll have to see. Terra Blast, Terra Fairy looks good into the team, allows you to hit the Gallade as well, allows you to hit the Malamar and the Dragapult. Yes, you do have the knockoff of the Dragapult already, but why not something else? And then Dragon Tail, just in case Uzi wants to go for the Trick Room stuff, or set up, like I know Dunsparce likes to set up, Malamar likes to set up, and things like that. So you can just go for the Dragon Tail, get it off the field. It can miss, but yeah, and it also hits the Dragapult pretty well too. You might catch it on a switch-in. AV, obviously AV is one of the better items on T-Tar. It's really hard to run Sash on Uzi's team, but who knows, we'll have to see how it goes. Pretty standard Garchomp set, Garchomp Terra Fire to stop the Will-O-Wisp. There's a few of them on the team. Life Orb just boosts the damage that we have. Dragon Claw to be able to hit that Dragapult and just good damage across the board. Earthquake, because we do have the Fletchender next, we're able to go for Tailwind Earthquake just in case she wants to go for that. There's a lot of ground weaknesses on Uzi's side or neutralities, so it just looks great. And then Poison Jab, Poison Jab just for the Whimsicott, and any sort of Fairy Terra potentially as well. So just a pretty standard Garchomp. The Fletchender, I think this is a pretty common one that I built already this season, which we haven't seen. Tailwind, Will-O-Wisp, Dual Wing Beat, Taunt. Faint is not on this set. Overheat is not on this set. Focus Sash is there. Oh, I have Flame Body. It's got to be Gale Wings. Actually, I might switch this to Overcoat. Oh, sorry, not Overcoat. What is it? Safety Goggles. Yeah, Safety Goggles, Terra Ghost. Yeah, that makes more sense. So now we don't get rid of our Gale Wings from the Sand. There's no point of running Sash on this thing. If Sand is up, we're just going to lose it anyway. So why not? It doesn't mean you can't run Sash. It just means at your own risk. So, but yeah, just a pretty standard set. Allows you to just get your speed control with the T-Tar, the Garchomp, your big hitters. The Gyarados is coming in a second. Clefable allows you to support the field as well with Follow Me. And then you have Moonblast Thunderbolt, allows you to hit other things on the other team. Another thing to hit that Araquanid. There's never enough things to hit Araquanid. That thing is such a pain. Whenever I faced it, it's just either 4-0'd me or just made my life very difficult. It's very hard to take out, so why not? Again, Mental Herb just to stop the Encores, the taunts, things like that. You love taunting your redirection, so why not have something on there? Gyarados. Terra Flying looks really good into Uzi's team, doesn't it? Hits everything except for 2 and hits everything neutrally. So this Gyarados set was running around for a while in the beginning of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. The Dragon Dance, Terra Flying, Terra Blast, because it doesn't get a flying move, unfortunately, and Waterfall. So water and flying, let me just look. Water hits the Toxtricity, water hits the Berserker. So why not run the 2 stabs? And then you can just hit everything on the team neutrally, especially after a Dragon Dance. And then the redirection with the Clefable. I think that's something that he has to really be careful about because this thing hits so hard. Citrus Berry, just in case you don't have the redirection or you take spread damage, you can take the hit, Citrus Berry brings you back up, and now you can just sweep after the next turn. Hitmontop. I do think Wide Guard's kind of important against this team because you do have Rock Slide stuff from the T-Tar, you do have Discharge stuff, you have Earthquake stuff, Wide Guard, and then D-Gleam from the Alchemy. I do think that just Wide Guard looks fantastic against her team. D-Gleam from possibly the Clefable as well. Fake Out is always good, never a bad thing. Close Combat allows you to hit the T-Tar. Again, you can't have too many things to hit the T-Tar because, again, on Nekkra's team, you definitely want that Terra type to get rid of one of your quad weaknesses, but you can't get rid of all of them. It's got to pick one, so may as well have ways of hitting that quad super effective damage. Triple Axle allows you to hit that Garchomp. Again, same reason. The Scyther, the Rotom looks fantastic. I wish I could run Technician because it does boost all of them. The 20, the 40, and the 60 power moves. And especially with Terra Ice, it just hits even harder, right? So, but the Intimidate looks great against the Gyarados, the Scyther, the Hitmontop, the T-Tar, the Garchomp. Again, you can only run one Clear Amulet, so why not? And that's Nekkra's team. I think this is a cool team. I still think this is one of the better teams in the draft. She's just not necessarily playing it the way I'm building. So, but I'm not building for her. She's building for her, so I'll let her do that. As for Uzi's team, the make or break team that's going to get the job done, is it going to be Gallade with Clear Amulet with these 3 moves? Who knows? Sharpness is just a really, really nice ability, giving it like a free choice band boost and allowing you to change your moves. Whoever thought it was a great idea to give this ability to anything in the game was silly. But yeah, it doesn't get any good moves for it, so why not? No, it gets all the good moves. It gets all the good moves. We're running 2 of them this week, Psycho Cut and Sacred Sword, the 2 stabs, and then Ice Punch to be able to hit that Garchomp, the Scyther, the Rotom, and then possibly the Terra Flying Gyarados, but he's not going to know that. Terra Electric just for a nice defensive Terra against a bunch of different things. It's more so the flying moves I'm afraid of. That Scyther's a little concerning for Gallade, so I think a defensive Terra. It's hard to pick one because everything that resists flying is weak to ground, and there's a Garchomp right there because there's what? Steel, Rock, and Electric, all weak to ground. So unfortunately, you got to pick one. So Electric was the one that made the most sense. Whimsicott. So we've got Covert Cloak, pretty standard. Terra Steel, pretty standard. Sunny Day gets around the weather on the other side of the field, just in case that Sandvale's being a pain. Moonblast allows you to just hit everything, because again, there's just one resist on the entire team, and it's a Fletchender. So Moonblast could do very, very good for Uzi. It might even be a Focus Sash, and then you just max the special attack and just go for crazy amounts of damage. Taunt, again, for the Clefable, and the Fletchender, and the Scyther, and the can't taunt the Alchemy because it gets the Sweet Veil, or sorry, Aroma Veil. So that might be another thing, so just taunt at your own risk. And then obviously Tailwind. The Araquanid, I still think this is one of the better ones there is. Liquidation, Leech Life with Mystic Water. Water Bubble is a very broken ability for it on those water attacks. But, wait a second, I had Sunny Day on the Whimsicott. That's anti-synergistic. We're not going to do that. I'm going to take that off there. Maybe we'll just deal with the weather, because I am not hindering my Araquanid in any way. I wish it got Rain Dance, it just doesn't. So, I don't know, just put Helping Hand on there, because that's the theme of the day, so why not? Yeah, just changing it on the fly, guys. So anyway, so there's one thing. I can't hit that Gyarados with Leech Life and Liquidation, so Terra Electric, defensive against flying, and it allows me to KO that Gyarados with the Terra Blast. I think it's a great way to go about it. It'll definitely KO it. Unfortunately, I have the clear amulet somewhere else, so I actually can't stop the intimidates from the Gyarados. So it's almost like the Gyarados is on the field. I bring in the Araquanid after, and then I can go for the Terra Electric and just start hitting it. Toxtricity, Overdrive, Thunderbolt, Sludge Bomb. I believe it hits everything that you need. Let's just double check. Electric hits everything, and then Sludge Bomb hits that. Sludge Bomb. Ooh. So just watch out for the Garchomp. That's all it was. And then we have the Terra Grass just so we can KO the partners, but I feel like you want to get rid of that Garchomp. So, Dragapult, Dragon Darts, Phantom Force, just for, this is kind of a hybrid set. So you can actually burn things. It's very, very fast. Burn the Garchomp, the T-Tar, the Gyarados, the Scyther, the Hitmontop. You could Will-O-Wisp literally every single turn until you go down, or you can go for crazy attacks with Dragon Darts and Phantom Force. I love when people try to target my Dragapult. I go for Phantom Force. I'm up in the air and it just misses me entirely because that's what the move does. So, and even with Trick Room, if you time it and Trick Room, you can make it so you're invulnerable for 2 turns. That'd be kind of neat. You do it at the end of the turn, you go, yeah, anyway, 2 turns possibly. Piloswine. I think Piloswine's always a good bring against Garchomp. Also, with the amount of ice weaknesses that Nekkra has, and she doesn't have a single resist, right? So her water type is normally a resist for ice, and steel, she doesn't have a steel type. So water flying doesn't resist ice. So why not go for Terra Ice, Icicle Crash, Icicle Shard? Just really frustrating to deal with this, and you can't intimidate it. She's got double intimidated. Oblivious makes it so you can't intimidate me. I've got the Eviolite there. So it's just super, super bulky. So who do I think this is going to win this week? It depends what Nekkra brings. That's the thing, right? Like if Nekkra brings the teams that she's cooking with, I don't know. I don't think this team is meant to be cooked with. So do I just kind of like give a really lame answer and say, if she brings the team I think she's going to bring, then she'll win. If she doesn't, she'll lose. That's kind of boring, right? Maybe I'll just give it to Uzi. Yeah, but I don't know. Let's just say they tie. Let's just say they tie. That's a really boring way, but that's a funny one. They're going to tie. I don't know who's going to win this one because, again, Nekkra's bringing a bunch of different teams than I'm expecting, so I don't know how they're operating. And Uzi really, really needs a win, but he's lost 2 in a row, so I'm not sure how morale's doing there, but I really hope he bounces back. I really want to see him in the playoffs and just show off what he's learned and what he can do, so... But anyway, so that is the 8th team. Yes, we did 8 teams again. That leads us into week 6. Thank you very much for sticking around if you did. These are a lot of fun to do. I know that this is our 6th week doing these, and I'm so thankful that everybody's still sticking around to watch. I just love making videos like this, and I'm loving it even more that you're all enjoying this as well. So it's a win-win. It is a fantastic friendship that we have here, or relationship we have here. So anyway, so again, if you haven't joined the Discord, join the Discord, start the conversation, join the conversation. We're talking about draft every single day. We're talking about matchups every single day. I think we were talking about After You Mousehold today. Super cool stuff. Just theory crafting. I'm in and I'm out, so I'm not there all the time, but I do like to join the conversation and give ideas. People sometimes ping me, they're like, hey Jay, I want to know what you think about this. I'm like, man, there's so many good draft players in here. I don't know what you want my opinion for. But anyway, as you can see, I'm not right all the time. I'm wrong all the time. So anyway, so don't forget about the giveaway, guys. If you haven't already claimed your inappropriate Lopunny in your Pokemon home, I don't have a picture for it. Thank God I don't have a picture for it. I don't want to put a picture up for it, but you know what I mean? Claim yours today. It'll be in your Pokemon home. Wink, wink. This is not a scam. And I will see you guys in the next one. I just talk a lot at the end of these videos, so thanks for sticking around. And thanks for joining me for the season. It makes it a lot more fun, and I will see you guys in the matches in week 6. Peace.